What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. I have a timer on the microphone so I can check the mic to make sure that it is not echoing because I don't like the echo. Some of y'all say it sounds like I'm at a TED talk. Some of y'all say it sounds like I'm on the loudspeaker at school over the loudspeaker giving the morning announcements. Good morning, class of 2024. Today is possibly your last day of school. We wish you all, is that what it was giving? Last day of school is today for the kids. Some kids got out last week. My kids get out this week. So so we're just down here. We don't have nothing to talk about. I have my mushroom coffee here. I'm getting ready to roll something up. I have these glasses on. They're so dirty. I could see. I don't know if you could see it, but I could see that they are so dirty. Let me clean my glasses. Let me clean my glasses. I feel like today is Friday for some reason. I don't know why, but today is actually Wednesday. I don't have, I've had some things on my mind, but I don't have much to talk about, right? So we're going to just go down to the blogs.
I sponsor the now. I sponsor the blog. Let me tell you something.
See if there's anything to talk about. And then we can just talk, I didn't speak too much about the Bia Cardi B situation because I felt like Bia played herself. I was like, "Ooh, that didn't play out like you wanted it to, huh, girl?" She really thought. I was like, "Why would she come for Cardi B? That's so stupid." I felt like if you're a woman rapper and you are being mentored by a man and he makes a suggestion to you that you come for Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion or another rapper, and you're just coming out in the game. Cardi B, whether you like her or not, has an energy about her that people like. She's likable. Some people don't like her because she has whatever things that she has said. Some people don't like her. They'll never like her. But regardless of whether you as an individual or you 3 or 4 or 15 people don't like her, there are groups of people who like Cardi B because she has a good attitude, like she's funny, she is laughing all the time, she has an energy about her that makes her likable. And I know there's some people like, I don't like her. I don't like her for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. No one is going to have 100% of people liking them ever in life, never anywhere, nowhere. People have their issues with Mother Teresa and motherfucking Gandhi. Okay. So nobody is going to like one person. 100% of the people are not going to like one person. Someone is always not going to like you. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything. Just how you exude energy, they don't like you, right? They says, I don't know what it is. When people say, I don't know what it is, I just don't like them, right? And that for some people, just don't, the tune that you're emitting is not harmonizing with somebody else's tune, and it sounds like static, so they don't like you. Bia coming after a rapper who is liked, whether she has, people, she doesn't have an album out, whatever. She's still on features. She's still working. She's still getting brand deals. She's doing something right. She doesn't have another album out, but she's not working. So she's still showing up on music, which is actually whoever is giving her that piece of advice, like, don't just completely fall into obscurity because since you don't have an album, like, jump on people's shit. If somebody asks you to jump on this shit, do a feature, do it. So I think that's but if you're in the industry and you're a woman rapper, this is not the early 2000s. This is not the stripper to rapper formula program anymore. That program came and went. Nicki Minaj was the last of the era where it was only one female rapper, one woman rapper at a time. Only one woman rapper got pushed to the front, much like black male comedians. One gets pushed to the front at a time. They get a television show, they get a Netflix special. You know what I'm saying? They do those things one at a time. It's one at a time. Same thing for female rappers. Nicki Minaj was the last of that. I think that's why she, in her head, that puzzle is not completely coming together, because she's not she hasn't updated her operating system, so she's still operating on that old programming. And there are a lot of men who, when Cardi B came through, for me, Cardi B represents all the women can have fame at the same time. It doesn't have to be one woman at I'm the first lady of the label, all that other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do that anymore. Social media and the internet has effectively removed the pervert middleman in the music industry. However, they still lurk. And they're looking for the girls who still believe that they need a man to get them into the business. And oftentimes what these men do is, because they are operating under old programming, they get excited when they see women battling or fighting, right? So they put you up and be like, oh, go after Cardi, talk about Offset, talk about this, talk about that, talk about, like, you really wrote a rap about like a likable rapper, and you really came out offbeat, but saying that she's offbeat. And I was like, what? I don't understand what she's saying. Who put you up to that? And then when she's sitting in the studio playing it, I don't know if in the moment she thought it was a good idea, and in the middle of it realized that this probably isn't a good idea, because her entire face changed at some point. But it was like, I still gotta act like this is the shit. Like, it was like she was listening to it and realizing, like, oh, wait a minute, this is not good. They're probably gonna clown the shit out of me. Isn't that why she like contacted, who did she contact? Some guy. Cardi showed it, saying, can she sue me for saying that? Girl, if you're lying on somebody, just because you put a melody and a beat behind it doesn't mean they can't come after you. Who's advising Bia? Like, who? That's what I'm saying. It's very it's very male operandi. It is very, it really is. And I was like, a man had to put her up to that, because I couldn't see, like, you saw Glorilla and Cardi, and they're all having good times, and with Megan, Glotto, all the girls are having a good time, and like, that's what the women are on, and that's why they can't really get along with Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj and her little minions, like Off Barbie and those Bia and all those other weirdos, they're still very much male centered, male focused, and believe that they got to go to Nicki Minaj, I don't know, for some type of praise or acceptance or something, right? I don't know what it is they look for, but all the rest of the girls are like, girl, we don't have time to kiss nobody's rings, to kiss nobody's feet, nothing. And as a matter of fact, you are lame, because while you might be the queen of rap, look at how you move personally. Look at who your nigga is, girl. No, you whack. You are whack and tired and through, and so male centered. You are literally married to a rapist. Like, girl, I don't give a fuck. That's whack to me. And you probably look whack in a lot of these girls' eyes, and they just don't want to like deal with that. And so all the girls are having fun. They jumping on records. They're posting stuff to Instagram and using other female women rappers as the background noise on their posts and stuff like that. Like, they're literally supportive of each other. And here you come, Bia, looking like a sack of onions, head shaped just like an onion, talking about, we was talking about you, and we don't like your tattoos, you look dirty. Girl, if I had a knife to scrape off all that makeup on your face, and I'm just saying, Bia, like, you put yourself out there, and when I tell you the response to Bia Well, I don't think she expected that. I don't think she expected that. And for real, for me, it's really giving a man told her to do that. I don't think, because I think that most of the girls have updated their operating systems, and they're not, one, allowing men to create needless conflict between them, so they can be like, oh my god, women rappers, why can't they just all get along? Girl, while these niggas, these rapping niggas, all they do is talk about fucking and killing each other. But the rap girls got it. The rap girls, oh my god, that's all they talk about. All they talk about. I don't think Bia played that correctly. I think she misfired. She did not hit her target. Cardi B came out and was like, bitch, Tasha K couldn't talk about my pussy. What makes you think you can talk about my pussy? I will call my lawyer and see if I could sue you if I have a case, and I will sue you if you don't take that shit down. She didn't say all that. That's what I'm saying. Like, girl, you looked really silly. And then for Cardi B to come out and have all the receipts, and you coming out about Offset. Yeah, your niggas fucking okay. So what? Everybody know Offset don't is not faithful to Cardi B. Everybody knows that. Girl, what is it? What's new? And the fact that that's like a dig for you, like it's like, girl, you so late. You so late. And there was a shout out to the trap witch Tatiana. She posted her commentary about this, and I was like, this is really good. I want to read what she said about Bia and how she came for Cardi B and how it looked crazy. But first, I want to give a shout out to Eboni motherfucking K Williams. You know, her and I have a little relation. Sometimes she get on my nerves, but she's pregnant, honey, and she's with child with a female child at that, and having a baby. And here she is saying that, fuck a man. I don't need no motherfucking man. I want my baby. And it's a lot of women who truly want to have babies, but like society's telling them, no, you need a man. And then you give the man, then you give the baby that man's last name. And there you go. There's your baby. No, go have your baby. Go have your baby. Give your baby your last name. Have the baby that you want to have and that you want to raise, and you feel like you will be able to give a human being a good life. So shout out to Eboni K Williams for announcing her pregnancy. I'm here for, I'm here for, have your babies. That's what I'm saying. Have your babies. Throw a party. If you want to get quote married, throw a party. Throw a motherfucking self-love ceremony and have a party. Have a DJ. Have a cake. Have all the things you want to have. You are so important that if you want to have that experience, have that experience. Have it. If you want to throw a big party, have it. You got to pay for. That's another thing. Doesn't the bride have to pay for the wedding anyway? What kind of shit is that? That don't even make sense. Traditionally, the mother's family, the woman's family pays for the wedding. So you getting sold off. I gotta pay for the wedding. You're changing your last name. You have babies, and you give the babies his last name. And I gotta pay for, girl. No. But I want to read you this thing that Tatiana said about Bia and Cardi B. Okay, let me see if this is echoing. I told you I had a timer. Hold on. All right, so it wasn't echoing. Okay, so good. Hopefully it doesn't start. I don't want to leave it. My Keisha was acting up last night. All right, so let's read this. This is from the Trap Witch. Why the current Cardi B versus Bia beef reflects an ancient wound in women. Why are women willing to play the bully to expedite growth and crowd security? So she says, Cardi B, don't get caught in the bait. Bia's definitely doing this for crowd security, although she had cosigns of legendary artists. It's interesting how people turn into bullies to be accepted by others. They use it as bait to stand out instead of focusing on their talent and individuality. In this case, I need Cardi to know these girls really hate her for her individuality. And I think for her likability too. That's what she can teach them. Bia needs to know to take the long road, and she does have more to learn, and that's okay. This bully shit is not her flexing the intellectual arrogance she thinks, and she should be a bit more humble and seek experience from those who are more seasoned. Cardi has earned hers. Learn and take notes. And she says, hold on. I'm going to tell you that Bia needs to slow down on this one. Bia represents a woman who is still just getting started and is not having patience with herself and how she's being seen and validated in the public eye in her expression. And what is the best irritant to that? Someone who they think is either not as good as them, or their disdain for them has more to do with the fact someone is glorified for their power, expression, and individuality, and it's being celebrated. It's the classic comparison is the thief of joy. Understand the saying, some people make themselves feel more important by starting a beef with you. Sometimes people try to expedite crowd security by creating gossip, beef, or trouble to gain the attention, compassion, or favor of others. And this is a deep witch wound. As someone who has gone through many trials of this myself on my way up, I've had many people who have created fictitious narratives, beefs, or gossip in order for people to validate them. Sometimes gossip in the form of vanity. People create narratives to create an appearance of superiority. You'd be surprised, especially in female communities, these group chats are often burn books, cesspools, and form of glamour magic to gain the validation and crowd security that someone wants instead of staying the course of individuality and purpose. One of the reasons toxic masculinity has penetrated sisterhood is due to capitalism and the fact that many think one cannot be strong in power alongside her sisters. We saw this beginning, we saw this we saw this during the witch trials, where women indeed created issues with other women through jealousy and insecurity for crowd security. The patriarchal pick-me-isms still. In this interview 8 months ago, Cardi was asked if she feels threatened by coming female rappers, and her answer was no, because she knows herself, her lane, and her talents. And she does her. And she always knew that if she made it and could be successful, that she knew she could open the doors for other women coming behind her. That does not mean that with this topic it's always easy. As someone who knows the sentiment, I also know people that think that they're owed something simply because someone else made it, and they should have the same success overnight, or without being intentional or mindful about collaboration and working together. Women's empowerment and collaboration is still messy without shadow work that allows one to be secure and able to work well with others. One of the things as women and people is to really know our roles and when to shut our mouths when we are getting distracted by things that are really just invitations to recenter yourself in your expression. There are things that require justice work, and there are things that require us to stay focused on what we're here for. One of the biggest wounds in female communities and sectors of work is not staying focused on our respective roles to a collective purpose, knowing our power and banding together to do that. That is why women's empowerment spaces are filled with these wounds of insecurity. And this can often hit women early when they feel like they're owed based on what they feel their value is. Your value is not up for debate, but sometimes we still have to pay our dues. To me, this is not about feeding a beef. This is about understanding that everyone's growth is not always linear. And sometimes we can't look at where we are and the beauty in our own personal journey. I think for Bia, she should focus on herself and the fact that she has some beautiful collaborations and cosigns along in the beginning of her journey. But in this moment, I don't feel she's in the right energy she's coming from, because she still has her own lessons that she has to honor on her way up to blossoming to the woman she's supposed to be on her journey. We have remembered that one of the biggest forces of revolutionary energy in this planet are powerful, talented women who are confident, communing, and patriarchy constantly driving a wedge into that through competition. Competition is a toxic masculine trait when it brings other women down and up to unfair trial, just like the witch trials. Some of the witch trials were simply based on women knowing themselves and trying to commune with other women. This is also why patriarchy tried for so long to keep women uneducated and trying not to allow them to be sexy, confident, and educated. The communing of women has always been dangerous. The educating of women has always been a threat. What if women communing in the forest to educate and empower each other has always been a reason they try to burn us, or get each other to burn each other? If you see your sister flourishing and she's doing it without harm to herself or another, ask her to come learn, or even just watch her, but do not try to erase her so that you can solely be watched. If you cannot be watched without the threat of her own light, ask if this is why you want to see her burn anyway. Another woman's story is not the absence of the importance of your own. Another woman's expression is not the invalidity of yours. You are not less important if your paths aren't linearly identical. Your birthright isn't not coming simply because you have different lessons to integrate. If you cannot commune with women without grounding yourself, not to disrupt your own insecurities, remove yourself from the circle. Women centering themselves is not the problem. It's women centering themselves in order to win a patriarchal game. Didn't I tell you? I haven't even read this last slide because I wanted to read it with y'all. It's women centering themselves in order to win patriarchal games. Instead of understanding divine feminine, understanding is realizing God didn't create our human experience identical. And that's why we need faith and confidence to understand that. Very well written. Shout out to Tatiana. She goes by the Trap Witch on IG. Some of you probably already follow her. Baby, I've been following Tatiana since she used to do tarot readings. She used to get up in the morning and do tarot readings on her porch. That was a long motherfucking time. So shout out to her. Um, yeah, the women's space. There's a lot of women who are still like it. If okay, my thing is this, because I was tasked to um develop my relationships with women. Now, I've always had relationships with women, friendships with women growing up. Always. I wasn't one of those people that said, "Oh, I don't have any girlfriends." I've always had girlfriends, even though my ideas and ideologies were male centered and things like that. However, I had a friendship that dissolved after 15 years, and it really affected me. It took me a long time to get over that friendship because I was doing a lot of reflecting. I was doing a lot of, reviewing the real of that relationship. So it took me a while. It took me several years to get over that friendship. I was angry. I was resentful. I was pissed off. I was really upset. And then I kind of stopped like forging relationships with women, because as I was as I was updating my operating system, I started to move away from women because I've always been like that. Like, I just didn't like to sit and commune with women because the topic of conversation was always how they were mistreated by some man. And I didn't like to have those conversations because even though I had male centered ideologies, I wasn't like a pick me. I didn't care about men like that to the point where I wanted to sit ad nauseum and talk about how I've been done wrong by a man. I just didn't like it. And I was that young woman watching my mom and her friends have these types of conversations and thinking to myself, oh, y'all just bitter, right? Until I had situations and I'm like, oh, this is why they were bitter. They were being grossly mistreated by socialized men. So I veered away from relationships, and I did feel alone a lot of the times because I didn't have anyone to talk to about anything other than men. I would be guaranteed a conversation about how some nigga did some woman wrong if I had conversations with women. Something she's going through with her man and stuff like that. And it's just like, girl, we can't talk about nothing else. Didn't you crochet a sweater or something? What's going on? Did you paint something the other day? Like, what else is happening in your life? But realizing that so many women center men in their lives that when it's time to talk about what's going on in their lives, it's only about a man because they have centered men in their lives. So that's all they have to talk about. So I was tasked to, get back into developing relationships with women. And slowly but surely, I'm watching online and social media women coming into this awareness slowly but surely. And it makes me happy because I'm like, oh, now I have people to talk to because the girls are, updating their operating systems and they're talking about other things. I also did not consider, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, women's empowerment. Women's empowerment. How women's empowerment is used these days is a marketing ploy. It's a way to exploit women who are unhealed. They say women's empowerment, but a lot of these people are just selling you some shit to make you believe that you need something, and this product is gonna make your life better. Consumerism, capitalism, patriarchy. That's what Tatiana was saying. It's a patriarchal game. And that's why I said the way that Bia is moving seems like a male put her up to that, because the women in this arena in rap and hip hop, they're not moving like that anymore. That is old programming. And the only humans that can come with old programming thinking that it's going to work are men. Men are operating from the same book. They've been operating from the same playbook for generations. It has not changed. In music, pitting women against each other, and then the crowd being like, why women? They just don't get along. Meanwhile, the men are killing each other behind us. Like it's a whole inferno going on behind us, but you're so concerned about women getting along. The women's empowerment space, a lot of the times it's tainted with male identified pick me, mammy, mountain climbing women. And so you get that behavior, and it's just like, it's so like ugly when I see women doing a man's bidding or behaving like men in spaces, right? It's so ugly to witness. And it's so ironic. Girl, let me shut up. I was about to say something. Girl, let me shut up. So I just wanted to read that from Tatiana. I thought it was very interesting, with Bia, because I hadn't really talked about the Bia situation, but for me, like, it was like, this smells like a man is behind this. It really does. And even like the girls are not on that wave anymore. And it's like, you still on that wave? Like, girl, come up, update your operating system. You're operating on an old program and you're letting a man dictate, or you're playing these games, these man games, patriarchal games. What does she say? It's women centering themselves in order to win at patriarchal games. What are you doing coming in here talking and then talking about her pussy? Like, that's crazy. Why are you talking about, like, what are you doing? And who sent you? So that's all I had to say about Bia. I was like, she looked like in the middle of her like playing that song, she looked like she realized this wasn't a good idea. That's what it looked like to me. Okay, anyway, so let's see. What else? Let's go to, it says songwriter The Dream accused of trafficking in a new lawsuit filed by his former protege who claims he strangled and arred her. Neighbors, it seems another music legend has been accused of SA. According to the new lawsuit, The Dream has been accused of arring a former protege. Per the suit, Shanaz Mongro, who goes by the stage name Shani Monroe, says that in 2015, The Dream used promises to promote her career. Sound familiar? We actually have evidence of how men move in the music industry thanks to Love and Hip Hop. The way that Cisco told Sin Santana, I will only give you a beat if you allow me to put my penis inside of you. That's the only way I'm going to make you a star or give you this song or help you in any kind of way. You have to give me and share your body with me in order for me to help you. That's patriarchal games. Let me use your body in exchange for a false promise of success. Let me do with your body what I want to do with your body in exchange for an empty promise. This is the playbook. That's why when it comes out, they all operating under the same playbook. And I'm surprised in his response, he didn't call it a money grab or a play for financial gain. It's like they have the same fucking template in every response. I'm surprised he didn't say that because I did read his response. He did not mention that somebody was coming for money, which is actually smart. Just be like, I don't know why they're accusing me of these things. If you did it or not, if you didn't do it, I don't know why they're accusing me of these things. Everybody saying that somebody wants money out of them. If you use the money to harm, then you need to use the money to restore. That's my thing. Period. And your access to money gives you a certain level of power that people trust you, and then you misuse their trust and harm them. And then when they're running around telling everybody that they were harmed, your response is, who hurt you? You're bitter. You goddamn right I'm bitter, motherfucker. Somebody gave me a promise and didn't show up, didn't fulfill their promise. I'm fucking bitter. You goddamn right, motherfucker. You're goddamn right. Rich Dollars, Mariah Lynn, all these men, the way they were moving, called themselves the CreepSquad. That is how men were moving. You saw Stevie J up there rubbing his hands together, calling himself, much like his friend, the good guy. Dr. Love and Mr. Love and the good guy, running around R-ing people, SAing people, giving them ketamine and GHB, disabling their bodily functions and letting people misuse their body. The good guy. We saw how he did Jocelyn in front of Mimi, who he had been with for 13 years, go on and off for 13 years, stringing her along for 13 years. And then you bring Jocelyn in her face, promising Jocelyn you're going to make her a star. And all you did was pimp her fucking out. Pimp her out and use her, misuse her, dope her up. You was trying to do the same shit that Puffy is doing. You was trying to dope her up and string her out. You sure were trying, Stevie J. You sure tried. Steven, you sure tried to do it. You did that revenge porn on Eve. We haven't forgot you grimy motherfuckers. The CreepSquad is exactly the right name to name these motherfuckers. Promise all these women and all these women thinking that the men are the gatekeepers. That's why they hate the internet and social media in the music industry. They hate it because they can't control the women. They can't use the women and misuse the women and give them nothing in return. Don't release an album. Sign them to 10 album deals. That's fucking retarded. It is. And what do? Promise these girls things in exchange for their bodies. It's grimy. It's sadistic. The Dream used promises to promote her career as a way to abuse her and force her to have sex. Like Diddy, Shani says Dream recorded their sexual encounters and threatened to show it to others. She also alleged that he strangled her and is involved in trafficking. Shani is hoping that the Dream can be legally punished despite the statute of limitations due to the SA and Cover Up Accountability Act. The law allows people to bring sexual assault cases even if the statute of limitations for the incidents they allege have expired. The Dream, who has worked with Beyonce, Rihanna, Mariah Carey, and many others, has denied the claims. However, Shani says, what Dream did to me made it impossible to live the life I envisioned for myself and pursue my goals as a singer and songwriter. Ultimately, my silence has become too painful, and I realize that I need to tell my story to heal, and I hope that doing so will also help others to prevent future horrific abuse. Let's read the comments. Olympus is falling, as Oliver said. I said 2024. Real Abstract Oracle says, how would those celebrities mentioned know what occurred with him and her? Are they in their company 24 hours? They can only say what happened to them. Someone said in another one, here's Storm Monroe, entertainment industry is glorified prostitution. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, if you think about it, listen to this. If you think about it, and it's very simple, the arts are a feminine energy. The arts, creativity, creation, the arts is female, right? And you are under a system of patriarchy. So anyone in the arts, they're going to have people who are abusing that feminine energy, misusing that feminine energy, siphoning from that feminine energy, which is why record contracts look the way that they do. They essentially put an umbrella up your ass and open it. They take advantage of the creatives. They take advantage of the feminine energy. That's what they're taking advantage of. So there's no respect. It's prostitution. He's not far off. The S trafficking, the drugs, giving false promises, telling people, misusing their bodies in exchange of. And then if you get into the right circles, which would eventually be the wrong circles, you end up having experiences like Justin Bieber, having those experiences that are imprinting on you, having experience like Cassie. They're not the only ones being misused by talentless people. Then you have the talented ones who are saying, hey, I can get in on this too. I'm going to open a label. Here comes a rapper opening a label, Rick Ross, who says, I can't sign no women because I'm going to have to put my penis in them. I'm going to have to put my penis in them. I have no control over myself. That if I hire a woman to my record label, I have to put my penis in her. So all they do is just misuse the creative or anyone wanting to be in that industry, harming them, using them, trafficking, drugging them, harming them in unimaginable ways that these people don't even want to talk. And I'm so glad that something is in the air where the people are talking and knowing that they're going to be supported. Yes, again, not 100% of the people are going to support you. There will always be those people who blame the victim. That's the system that we're under. It is literally a chip in the programming that says victim blame. When a victim comes out with their story, blame them for it. It is literally a response that lots of people will have. But know that there are people here that are going to support you and say, I believe them. I believe her. I believe her. I need someone to find someone to accuse of S trafficking. Any volunteers? This better be capped because I can't stop streaming Beyonce. I'm sorry. I know Beyonce is pissed. I know she is pissed too because Beyonce, from what I heard, took measures to make sure that no producer on her album had any any allegations of mistreating people. She made sure. And the dream was all over Renaissance and apparently is all over Cowboy Carter. And it's unfortunate, but these men abuse power, especially if they're not conventionally attractive, like Yam Academics. That's why women have to stop giving access to men who are undeserving. You think you're going to get close to this guy and he ends up R-ing you and then coming out to the internet telling everybody that something is wrong with you, shaming you, having opinions on Puffy. Academics has a allegation out there about him and his friends R-ing a woman, She's filed a complaint, and he still has the audacity to sit on his platform and have opinions about Puffy as if he doesn't have his own allegations. I stopped caring about him when I read about him abusing Christina Milian. This is why Christina Milian took her daughter all the way to Paris, because what is going on? Is S trafficking the new word to call it to make it criminal? Listen, you stupid bitch. When they take somebody over state lines so that another person can stick their dick in them, that's sex trafficking. Period. So when you hopping, running up the tarmac, running up on somebody's private jet, and they fly to another state and they abuse women, that's sex trafficking, stupid. Nothing angers me in the pits of my soul more than an intentionally stupid person, especially one with a vagina. When I tell you that chaps my fucking hide, I hate an intentionally stupid bitch. I do. More than I hate an intentionally stupid ass man, because their stupidity, although intentional, is just who they are. But when y'all get in the comments and start acting stupid and asking them dumbass questions, knowing good and goddamn well you know what the fuck sex trafficking is. Cat Williams literally opened Pandora's box. Y'all saying Cat, but this really started with Cassie. She took down the biggest fish and opened the door for everyone. What's going on? Everybody's R-ing everybody. They've been doing that. They've been doing that. You know how many people are. I told you I couldn't wait until the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement came over to the black side of the entertainment industry. I couldn't wait. Because I know these motherfuckers is out here harming women. I know it. The way they were on Love and Hip Hop, so proud to call themselves creeps. What do you think they do in private? What do you think they do in private? If outwardly, if in the community, they have merchandise that says CreepSquad on it. Merchandise, honey. What do you think they do in private? What promise do you think? You saw Erica Mena go down to Love and Hip Hop, Rich Dollars all in her face, touching on her leg and stuff. No respect. None at all. Not like she has any for her goddamn self, because she should have told him to keep his goddamn hands, but she's too busy trying to make Safari jealous, and he will never give a fuck. You see the niggas with no pool, how they move. You see these grimy ass niggas out in the hood. They ain't got no money. They ain't got shit. And they still mistreating women. Can you imagine? Add some money to them. That's the reason why they worship men who have money and the material things to get the women to abuse. That's all they want. That's why it's so difficult for them to relate to a person being harmed, because they want to be able to do the same thing. Their thoughts in their mind, like they want to be able to do what Puffy does. They want to be able to do what these men do to harm women. That's why they respect men with money, because the money allows them the avenue to harm women and other men and children. You know what the fuck sex trafficking is? Take somebody over state lines and have sex with them. That's sex trafficking. They didn't ask to be R'd. You took them over state lines, just like they took in the documents. They Harv Pierre and Puffy put some young girl on a plane, took her somewhere, R'd her, and then brought her back. That's sex trafficking. And these niggas don't talk about nothing above their waist. From their wallet to their dicks, that's all they want to fucking talk about. Look at Marlon Wayans down to the internet talking about he does missionary style. Who the fuck cares how you fuck, nigga? Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. But y'all don't have nothing to talk about that doesn't come above your waist. You are stuck stagnant in survival mode in the root chakra, harming women, raping women, sex trafficking women, harming men, raping men, sex trafficking men. So focused on fucking. It is insane. And I don't know if it has to do with me being a Virgo, a virgin, the virgin, because I have always asked anybody who knows me, I can't stand a motherfucker who everything that comes out his fucking mouth has to do with sex. You don't have nothing else to talk about? Then I'm reminded, oh, these motherfuckers are in survival mode. All they do is fuck, fight, fucking fight, fucking fight, fucking fight, and eat and hoard. And they embody the 7 deadly sins. Embody it. They embody all of it. From envy to gluttony, all of it. Lust, all of it. I can't stand a person preoccupied with sex. I can't stand these motherfuckers who get in positions of power and then use sex to harm people, to violate people. I hate that. I do. I really do. I hope whatever happens with this case that the woman is restored. Period. So this guy, here's Eboni K. Williams. Hold on. Let's go to wait, let me go to Hollywood. Who is hating on Coach? There ain't nobody hating on Coach. Ain't nobody hating on Coach. That's so crazy. Nobody's hating on Coach. They got the best leather. At least it's leather. Y'all running around with Louis Vuitton bags and they're not even leather, girl. That's plastic. The fuck it is. It's straight up plastic. Shout out to the Bravo Shade Room. It says Ashley performs her alleged new single, Healing and Thriving. Listen to this shit. Healing and thriving. I said that healing is a journey. All about, I'm feeling myself now. No one can put me down. I'm in a place I can finally celebrate. Moving my body left and right. Not so beautiful as I heal and thriving. Let's see, read some of the comments. I said her alleged new single is nasty work. She wants to be Candace so bad. Leave the singing in Potomac to Candace. So she just ain't gonna go ahead and get vocal training now. One song you gotta pass because it was your first. But come on, Ashley, we can't be subjected to this. Now that Candace is gone, she thinks she's the talent. You heal, and I'm hollering. She couldn't wait for Candace to leave. This song is garbage, by the way. Whoever sat in the studio to help produce this song clearly don't work with real artists. Did anyone see the dedicated cameraman running after her? This clip gets better every time I watch it. I hope this healing includes healing from being messy. We laughing now, but there's plenty of people who are charting with voices like this. That's a damn lie. Don't nobody sound like this. No one can put me down. I'm in a place I can finally celebrate. I don't give a fuck. The worst singer on the charts don't sound like this, okay? Girl. Okay, let's see what else is happening. I want to go to the Hollywood Unlocked. Let's see. Major congrats to Eboni K. Williams is pregnant with her first child. I want to read some of the comments. Too many pregnancy shoots, less marriage. Honey, listen, this idea, like the value of marriage and the value, actually, there is a clip of Eboni talking about the value of being a wife and the value of marriage. Do y'all understand? It is not, if something depreciates, actually, if something doesn't, if you buy a product and you take it home and they tell you this is supposed to last forever. This is supposed to last forever, right? So you're like, shit, I'm gonna get this. This is a great investment. 2 years in, it starts acting up, God damn it. And you're like, wait a minute. I thought this, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, handle this for a lifetime. Okay, I'm going to try. Here comes year 4. Now the motherfucker's not contributing, being disagreeable, miserable, weaponized incompetence. Year 5 comes around. Now the motherfucker's starting to talk to you crazy. Not contributing, ignoring the offspring. Comes in purposely angry so that you can walk around eggshells. You got children now, right? There's children here. Offspring. Year 7. God damn it, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this forever. You're going to be like me. That day I looked in the mirror and I said, are you going to do this forever? Is this for the rest of your life? You're going to do this for the rest? I was looking at myself in the mirror. Are you going to do this for the rest of your life? You're going to commit to this person that is causing you this much misery for the rest of your life? This is going to be your life experience? You still have children. Honey, you want to throw out the product. It only lasts 8 years. The children are going to still be there after 8 years. You got to watch the children to the 18. The marriages aren't lasting. They ain't growing up with the children. So the value, this false value, it's the same value as a goddamn CZ. The value that you put, and that's why I said yesterday on Dee's live, the value, not on her live, in the conversation, where this, especially for the melanated woman, she's on this course and this path to mimic a dynamic that they thought white women were getting. And the white women are coming out saying, girl, it's not what you think. I'm damn near in poverty. When I left my husband, I was on that stay-at-home mom shit. I was on that traditional nuclear shit. And I have an autoimmune issue now. My hair is falling out. I have dis-ease in my body from partnering and cohabitating with this defective entity. The kids will grow up before your marriage does. I guarantee you that. It is not as valuable as you think it is. The value that you put over legally binding yourself to a human being over having a child is the wildest shit to me. Your ability to create a human, you don't put as much value on that as you do legally attaching yourself to a fickle ass human being. That is psychotic to me. So many women, it's not enough weddings. Girl, the weddings, we have enough weddings. It's the divorces that we need to count, boo. Because a lot of these women, again, their children grow up before their marriage does. People are not, they don't value it enough to harm themselves. I'm not going to put so much value in something that I see is harming women generationally, does not benefit women. You're not surprised that there's studies going around showing that single women and married men are the happiest. How is single women and a married man? How the fuck? So what about the married women? Are they not happy? No, they're not. They're not. Look at the divorce rates. So while you're shaming someone for having a baby, for producing life, and shaming her because she didn't connect herself to a person with a penis, is sick to me. It is fucking sick. Congratulations to Eboni K. Williams. She had to unlearn that shit too. I can't wait to hear her say, hey, listen, I wanted a baby and I thought that I had to get married in order to have a baby. So what I was desiring effectively was the baby, not the marriage. And goddamn it, I live in a time where I don't need no motherfucking man to have a baby. And I'm a goddamn lawyer and I do whatever, book author and whatever. I can take care of this baby. And I have a community of women and friends and other men around me to help me village to raise my child. I don't need a singular person to be fighting over custody with. That's why Lala Kent went and had her baby the same way. Because I know this baby is going to be here and you're not going to be here. You're going to be here on an average of 8 years. This baby going to be here though. Because guess what? Y'all don't take them when you leave. When we send you packing, you don't take the babies. You don't even think about the babies. I thought about that the other day. How lucky. I'm thinking about my children's father and how wonderful it must be to not have to repeat himself 500 times to tell somebody to close their bathroom door or to take the trash out or to go walk the dog. How wonderful is it that you have children with your last name and you have done nothing to upbring them? How lucky are you to have people running around with your last name and you've done nothing to bring them up? Nothing. How wonderful is it that you can get up in the morning and not have to be worried about if your children caught the bus or if anybody's going to mess with them. You have no worries in the world, but you'll get to call these motherfuckers your children. Must be nice. Listen to Eboni K. Williams talk about the value of being a wife. It's a very short clip. This is on, whose page was this? This was on Yanni's page. Okay, hold on. Here it goes.
Value. So that means.
Okay, here we go.
I am not willing, nor am I incentivized. Being a wife in and of itself has no intrinsic value. So that life in and of itself has no intrinsic value. So that means I am not willing, nor am I incentivized to give a lot in order to have those capacities.
Right.
But I think that's not common. I think most women, especially Black women, do desire nuclear family. I think they do desire it. Now, here's where it gets.
Now, the only reason why melanated women desire nuclear families because you've been told all your life that white men take care of white women. You've been told that all your life. And you think that these niggas are your counterparts. So therefore, they should treat you the way white men treat white women. Have you talked to white women? That I've been telling y'all that for years. Talk to the women of the group that you want to go to for those who are dating out. Because I guarantee you this, they all have the same fucking complaints. The Latinas, the Asians, the whites, the Indians, the everybody. All of the women have the same fucking complaint about the persons with penises in their community. They all have the same complaint. But for some reason, they put so much value in being connected to these people. You think there's some value in that. And so Black women, they want what white women have. I want men to take care of me. I want my counterpart to take care of me. You don't know how these women are in these relationships being abused, financially abused, psychologically abused, but you want what they have. I remember this woman, older woman, a friend of mine's mother told me, when you look at another woman and you want her life, you better be mindful about wanting another woman's life because you have no idea what she's going through. And she said there was this woman that she looked at and she was like, damn, I want her life. I want her life. She has this, and that. The woman ended up getting into a car accident with both her legs amputated. You be mindful of whose life you wish you want. That was the lesson that woman shared with me. When you're looking at another person and want their life, you be mindful. You don't know what the fuck they're going through. And while a collective of Black women want the lives or mimic the lives of white women and have these nuclear families, when the word nuclear is that for a reason. It's toxic. It's isolating. So when you see these white women on fucking TikTok with the, what do they call it? Housewife to poverty pipeline, where they put all their, a grown ass fucking woman, put all her trust in a fickle ass man. And when he decided he didn't want it, the toy anymore to play with, he threw her ass out. Evander Kane, I want to talk about him on another video. The hockey player, I don't know if he plays for the Sharks anymore. He was being investigated for gambling. He's biracial. He looks biracial black kid. She is accusing him. One, she accused him of betting and throwing hockey games, and now accusing him of assault. You have all these men working together in a way where women believe that attaching themselves to these people is somehow valuable. It's not. I'm here to tell you it's not valuable. I don't care if you've been married for 20 years. There's no value. To me, I don't care. There's no value in it. There's no value in it. Not to me. It's not valuable to me, right? One man's treasure is another man's trash. From my perspective and way I see it, it looks like a landfill.
Complicated, to your point, Melissa. What they're not so desirous of it that they are willing to do it under any and all circumstances, as the generation previous to them had to do. So now what you've got is a generation of Black women that say, listen, I would love to not be the breadwinner. I would love to take my money that I make as a nurse, my money that I make as a school principal, my money that I might even make as an attorney, and put it into Kitty, put it towards something. Instead, though, what they're being forced to do, y'all, many of them, because we all know these women, they're being forced to put the family on their back. They're being forced to pay all the bills, do most of the child care, and turn a blind eye to you out here in these streets. Married and being a wife in and of itself has no intrinsic value. So that means
I said she's right. It's sad that so many Black women are trying to chase the idea of having a nuclear family only because they want to experience what they believe white women were experiencing. And as you can see, y'all all over TikTok, white women letting y'all know that the nuclear family is in fact nuclear and it's harmful to women. So stop desiring what is harmful to you. Take your money, keep all your money, and do what you want with your money. Stop legally attaching yourself to these weirdos and thinking that there's some value in being referred to as a wife when it is just a disguise for being a maid, a mule, and a mattress. Someone says, I don't know why still talk. I don't know why still talking about men providing for their families. I'm Muslim. I'm a Muslim woman. And this talk, never conversation at all. Honey, you're lying. See, that's the part that I don't like. Just because you might be the exception to the standard, do not fix your mouth to say that you don't see it. Because you can't tell me as a Muslim woman with that another father God religion where the gatekeepers are men, that how beautiful, no matter how beautiful the doctrine is, the culture is toxic to the point where they will stone your ass in another country if you are caught or walking or doing whatever they deem a woman shouldn't be doing. So don't tell me I'm a Muslim woman and these are not conversations. You're a liar. She said, I'm Muslim and this talk never conversation at all. Not in my country, Somali, or any Africa, or even the Middle Eastern countries where women are still getting stoned to death, girl. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. The religions say if man can't provide, he shouldn't be married. And I said, if a woman can't provide, she shouldn't be married either. Girl. If you can't provide for yourself, you should not be married. Because you are effectively putting yourself in a situation where you can be abused. I have to edit that. Here's another comment. Most people, including white people, both work. Right. This fantastical, delusional idea that, here, girl, I'm tired of this shit. Here, I'm just going to play it for you. I'm just going to play it for you. I don't have time to explain over and over and over and over and over again. Hold on a second, God damn it.
In former times,
here,
lived long enough to see all their children leave home? Even though marriages today are more likely to be interrupted by divorce than in former times, they are much less likely to be interrupted by death. So that about the same number of children spend their youth in single-parent households today as at the turn of the century, and fewer live with neither parent. The 1960s generation did not invent premarital and out-of-wedlock sex. Indeed, the straight-laced sexual morality of 19th century Anglo-American societies, partly revived in the 1950s, seems to have been a historical and cultural aberration. Anthropologist George Murdoch examined cultural rules concerning sexual behavior in 250 societies and found that only 3 shared our generalized sex taboo on sexual behavior of any type outside marriage.
hold on.
In reforms and protections for women and youth. The juvenile court system is a good example. The first juvenile court was established in Illinois in 1899. By 1917, all but 3 states had adopted the institution. Despite its altruistic goal of treating young offenders more leniently and individually than hardened criminals, the juvenile court system created a new rationale and instrument for intervention into families. Behaviors that were not illegal, but that offended middle-class sensibilities, hanging out on street corners or at dance halls, gambling, engaging in sexual activity, resisting the authority of teachers or welfare workers, showing carelessness about the rights of others, even exhibiting lack of ambition to become something worthy, became evidence of delinquency. Youths could be consigned to institutions for these sins without
Okay.
in the past 2 decades, a process discussed in chapters 10 and 11. But the claim that rising welfare subsidies caused this is not upheld by the facts. Although both single-mother families and the roles of aid to families with dependent children, AFDC, have expanded since the mid-1950s, for example, these trends should be understood as separate responses to other socioeconomic and cultural changes. For there is no causal relationship between welfare benefits and single-parent families. Economists William Darity and Samuel Myers found that in any specific geographic area or time period from 1955 to 1972, the higher the welfare benefits, the lower were the rates of female headship and welfare participation. Since 1972, the correlations Murray made so much of have ceased to prevail, even at the most general level. Between 1972 and 1980, the number of children living in female-headed households rose from 14% to almost 20%, but the number in AFDC homes held constant at about 12%. In the same period, the number of black children in female-headed families rose by nearly 20%, but the number in AFDC homes actually fell by 5%. The image of teenage girls having babies to receive welfare checks is an emotion-laden but fraudulent cliché. If the availability of welfare benefits causes teen pregnancy, why is it that other industrial countries, with far more generous support policies for women and children, have far lower rates of teen pregnancy? Welfare benefits do seem to increase the likelihood of unmarried teen mothers moving away from their in the past 2 decades.
There's more. Hold on. Here's another one.
These characters have lacked at least one parent, while the most popular American heroes in literature, comics, and Western movies have avoided marriage. Men learn their roles and values best in places women cannot go. For women, the only place to discover role models, practical advice, and emotional support for their tasks in democratic society has been the romance novel. For some women, of course, and some men as well, the contrast between liberalism's claim to universality and its denial of individual rights to women was an insupportable contradiction. Fond fathers who educated their daughters in Republican principles awakened desires and frustrations that led such women to demand the rights of citizenship. 19th century feminist Elizabeth Cady Stanton drew the opposite conclusion from most liberal theorists on the basis of her acceptance of their assumptions about human nature. The isolation of every human soul and the necessity of self-dependence must give each individual the right to choose his own surroundings. The strongest reason for giving woman all the opportunities for the full development of her faculties, her forces of mind and body, is the solitude and personal responsibility of her own individual life. As an individual, she must rely on herself. The doctrine of republicanism provided little justification for forcing women, not children's characters, have lacked at least.
That is the book called The Way We Never Were by Stephanie Coontz, Coontz. Go get that book. So whatever you thought another group of women was experiencing, and so somehow you feel like you deserve to have that experience too, was a lie, like every other fucking thing under the system of patriarchy. A upside down, backwards, contradictory lie. So while you out here shaming women for not being married and having a baby when your marriages aren't even lasting until your child turns 18, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Update your goddamn operating system. If you want to have a baby, have a baby. If you want to have a self-love ceremony, have a self-love ceremony. Stop waiting for a person with a penis to give you the dreams you desire of having a celebration of you and having a child. Don't let a fucking man stop you from doing that. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I gotta go. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. The Way We Never Were by Stephanie Coontz. She talks about television programming and how television programming has fucked up a lot of women and their ideas. Romance novels, another one. Fucked a lot of people up. I'm going to give you love and monogamy and romance so that any of these motherfuckers could have a chance with you and then call y'all gold diggers. Girl, I can't. I got to go. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.